Hello, I'm Todd Hall, President and CEO of TrueLiant. As we mark our 70th anniversary in 2022, we reflect on a rich history that would not be possible without the support of the great city of Winston-Salem. From our humble beginnings in 1952 to the present, where we will soon serve over 300,000 members, hire our 1,000th employee, and exceed $4 billion in assets, to a future poised for continued growth, I am proud of the work we are doing together. TrueLiant is grateful for and remains committed to Winston-Salem and all of Forsyth County.
Welcome to the Greater Conversations podcast. I'm Deetra Miller, the Director of Member Relations and Engagement at Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. We'll use this platform to showcase our local businesses, our community, and their stories. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. It is my pleasure to have with us today a couple of folks from USA Flooring. And if you haven't heard of USA Flooring, you're going to learn everything about it today. I'm super excited about that because I've been into the Winston-Salem store and it is amazing. So we have here with us today Blake Cook, who is the district manager for USA Flooring. And we have Emily Winfrey, who is the branch manager of the Winston-Salem store. And she is the chief executive of all things. We just added that to her title today. Thank you so much for being here, Blake and Emily.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're happy to be here.
Yes. Well, I'm so glad to have you here. And just again, for everyone listening, USA Flooring is a full-service flooring retailer. They have 5 brick-and-mortar stores here in North Carolina. So, Blake, I want you to talk a little bit about how the company got started, a little bit of that history, and why you guys chose Winston-Salem. I mean, we know Winston-Salem's awesome, but why did you choose to have one of those stores here?
No, great question. So USA Flooring, as you indicated, is a full service flooring retail provider, but it's certainly not limited to residential. We do construction, commercial work. Basically anything you walk on, we do. The question why Winston? It's an obvious one. Winston is just a beautiful place to be. Honestly, we found the right people to staff our Winston store. That was a big deal because you can't build anything great unless you have great people. So honestly, Emily was one of the biggest drivers of why Winston. We knew we had several key areas that we wanted to be in. The western side of the state was an area that we knew we needed to expand into. So Winston sort of made sense if you look at the population density, competition, those sorts of things. But then when you combine that with the right person, it's a no-brainer to open a store up. USA Flooring as a company, awesome company to work for first and foremost. It's a family-owned business, which is awesome. The owner of the company lives in Raleigh, North Carolina, so shop local all day. But no, so it started in Fredericksburg, Maryland, I think. 50 years ago as a sort of a carpet wholesaler.
Okay.
And the model was basically cash and carry, which just means there was no installations. And it was Ken Lloyd's
Carpet Town.
There you go, Ken Lloyd's Carpet Town. Ken Lloyd is right. He's the father of the existing owner. So Chris Lloyd is the owner of USA Flooring, and USA Flooring has been in its sort of current iteration of name, if you will, for the last 35 years. And as you mentioned, 5 brick and mortar stores, and I think we're looking to the future in Charlotte.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's fantastic.
Yeah, exciting. So we'll see what happens and what the time frames look like. We got a great taste of how time frames can change when we were working on opening here in Winston, as well as when we were working on opening our new Raleigh showroom.
Well, there's always, a little something that happens when you're trying to open up a new location.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
But you mentioned having great people in Winston-Salem, and Emily is that. So
Don't make me blush over here.
I wish this was recorded face.
But no, you've just got that wonderful personality and that beautiful smile. So when somebody walks into the store, they're just welcomed. And let's talk a little bit about the store, Emily. Mm-hmm. Number one, you're coming up on an anniversary really soon. So I'd love for you to talk about that and talk about the selection, because a lot of times when people think about flooring, mm-hmm. they're either stuck with what they've already got that the contractor picked out. Mm-hmm. That may have been something from a big box store. but you guys have things that are just so incredibly lovely.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'll let you talk about that.
Well, our motto at USA Flooring is if it's on your floors, it's in our stores. So, and our showroom in Winston-Salem on Haynesville Boulevard, we have total 8,000 square feet of space.
Wow.
About 3,000 of it is just our showroom, and then we've got, about 1,000 square feet of just in-stock products. But our showroom, when you come in, we really help understand what the customer is looking for and then help guide them throughout the showroom. And it goes from anything with solid hardwood to engineered hardwood. We have luxury vinyl planks. That's all the rage these days,
Yes.
as well as luxury vinyl tile. So instead of like long planks, you got tile looks for a third of the price of actual tile. Then we also have got ceramic tile, porcelain tile, carpet. We have such a scope of carpet. I even have a whole designer room with just designer carpet. And when I say designer, I'm meaning if you're wanting to make a movie theater room, I've got carpet for that. If you want a snazzy stair runner, I've got just the carpet for you. So we've got just a whole range of things. And we also personally select what the carpet we keep in stock as well. So we've got a range from if you're, a property manager, wanting a quick, rental property you want carpet for, I've got that carpet for you. But also if you've been that renter that now has a home of your own and you want to switch out that carpet that's been installed, we've got a great higher quality carpet for you too. So we definitely do have a range, and it's really about understanding what the customer wants and then guiding them through the whole process, because it's very in-depth. People think of just the product, but there's so much more that goes into it.
Excuse me. You mentioned designer quite a bit.
Yeah.
Do you guys have in-house designers that work with folks that come in?
Well, you're talking to a designer right now.
Yay.
But we also have, designers that we've partnered with, that work within our company, that can help also with our selections. There's a lot of interior designers that we work with as a company.
Nice.
We've also found, our showroom as well as the other showrooms amongst amongst North Carolina, they'll bring them in and help guide them through what their countertops look like. So that way they can match up the perfect, hard surface or, all the different aspects that come into, what your wall color is going to be like, so we can help with all those things. And one of the things that really customers always seem to enjoy is if they come into the store, I always suggest, taking a sample or two home, laying it underneath your furniture, moving it around your space so you can see the different light that comes in. Then we'll come out in a week or so to take a full measurement of your space, take those samples back, bring you some more if you want, and actually help you customize what's going to be in your home. Because, purchasing floor is a big purchase.
Yes.
And so you don't want to jump into a color lightly. So it's definitely important to find a color that you love. How does it feel? Walk barefoot on it,
I love that. Do you guys install as well?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're a full turnkey installation flooring company. So it literally, she said it. If it's if it's on your floors, it's in our stores, and if it's in our stores, we install it.
Nice.
Yeah. So we can install pretty much any type of flooring, and we've got some of the best installers in the area. I certainly know that we have some of the longest standing relationships with installers as a company as a whole. Some of our installers have been with us for 25 years. So
Oh, wow.
you talk about growing with an installer or putting that personalized touch on the experience. These installers really, they care. We're a small family owned company and we employ installers who have that same mentality.
I love that. I love that. What's the turnaround time usually on ordering a flooring and having it installed?
Yeah, no, great question. And generally speaking, when we order a product, assuming it's in stock, it's going to come in within 5 business days or less.
Okay.
Generally speaking. And assuming that the product is actually in one of our stores, I can have it installed usually the next day.
Oh, wow.
So, turnaround time from when you order it to when I could have it installed, you're a couple weeks or less, assuming the world is perfect.
But if it's an in-stock product, I've
Maybe
even
the
got
next
some
day.
installers, we can install it the next day.
Oh, wow.
That would be if there's one thing that
Nice.
separates us from other flooring providers, flooring store providers, if you will. Not only do we install, and not only do we have samples, a good, probably the largest selection of samples in North Carolina in our showrooms.
Wow.
But we also have, to her point, in-stock products where we've already purchased, some of the top performing colors or styles within, from some of our different suppliers. So you can be sure that some of the products that we keep in stock are up to date with the latest trends, but we're really able to move quickly, assuming that the product in stock matches somebody's wants and needs.
So I have a question on that.
Sure.
So with trends, do you actually steer the trend, or do you just go have someone else say, what's hot this year?
So I'm gonna let Emily handle this one, but I do I'm gonna tail in here on the designer question that you had mentioned a second ago to begin answering your question. So like Emily said, when she was answering your designer question, you're looking at the designer. So to your question, absolutely, we steer the conversation.
Yeah.
People are coming in looking for our expertise.
Oh, yes.
Whether or not I went to school for design or not, they still want to know, what are people doing? What are you seeing in the marketplace? And I'll turn it over to Emily.
Yeah. Well, and I was just that's such a great question.
Thank you.
I'm glad we teed that one up. But when it comes to trends, we definitely try to help customers because, again, you don't want to invest in a $10,000 flooring remodel to then move in a couple of years and you're off trend. Grays have been hot for so long. We get someone that comes in and they want gray this, gray walls, gray countertops, gray floors. So that's where we try to guide them to where the trend is going. Get something that's going to be more classic and stay for a while. A trend I see a lot of around here is people come in because we'll do, their flooring as well as the quarter round. And, back 10 years ago, your quarter round always matched your floor. Mm-hmm. And that's what a lot of these older homes that are doing full flooring renovations, they'll come in, I want it to match. Well, let me tell you what's really on trend. You want your trim to all be, a classic white and everything to be flow throughout. So that's just one little trend that, is going in a direction and people just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So also, they have that gun stock color, that's very popular. They want something to match their hardwood, but they don't want hardwoods throughout. So helping them, not match it because you're never going to match unless you're going to, sand and finish everything, but getting them, something that's going to complement each other. So we do stay up to what is hot these days, and also our reps. We have excellent reps that keep us abreast of all of the, what's hot now, what's their top sellers. People love to know what the top seller is. So out of every line, we're like, this is what is the top seller.
I want to be myself, but I want to be just like everybody.
Right. Yeah.
That's Tim, nail on the head. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And also, like I just was in a home earlier this week. Well, yesterday, and the customer, wanted a great carpet for the next few years, but they didn't want to, break the bank doing this investment because they know they're going to sell. But she only wanted to replace her hallway. So when it comes to carpet, you either replace the hallway and the bedrooms, or you don't replace it at all. So that's what we talked through is, what is it going to look like, not now, but what's it going to be like 5 years from now? Yeah. And do we do a big investment, or do we do just something to fix her, get her clean, healthy carpet for the next 5 years, So we help with all the things.
What's the average
CEO of all the things?
Yeah, of all the things.
Yeah.
What's the average lifespan for carpet?
Oh man, great question. So the easiest answer there is to say it depends on the quality, but by and large, nowadays.
So let's say that you only deal in quality.
Right.
So what would your carpet last?
Yeah, by and large nowadays they're making carpets that are literally life proof. So anything, it's crazy. So what used to be the purview of just hard surface is now the purview of carpet as well, where essentially anything that a pet can do to the carpet is warranted by the manufacturer to come out. Assuming you take care of it the way you're supposed to take. Assuming you take care of it the way you're supposed to take care of it, which is kind of crazy because you think you spill red wine in a carpet, you're done. Well, not so fast. They're making carpet nowadays that you can literally you come along with warm water and a rag and get that right on out. It's crazy.
It's done.
The way it reads from a warranty standpoint is it's warranted against essentially anything from a standing perspective that a pet can do. And in my mind, and I say this all the time to customers, if a pet can do it, so can a human.
Yikes.
You know what I mean? So how's a manufacturer going to tell me that the dog peed on the carpet versus you peed on the carpet,
Right.
Right.
So yes, carpet nowadays from a warranty standpoint and from a lifetime sort of functional standpoint, you could get 10, 15 years out of a carpet now. Now, whether you would want a carpet for 10 or 15 years is probably a whole different story.
So in my house, we have this Berber crap that goes up the steps into our entire, because our entire upstairs is just a loft.
Okay.
And with the exception of the bathroom, which we had retiled.
Okay.
And the house is 23 years old.
So is that the original carpet then?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
Berber.
I said Berber. Yeah. And I have never liked it. Actually, it's a little older than that. 25 years old. And I've lived in it since 2002.
Okay.
Which is 21 years because my son was only 6 months old when we moved into it, and he's 21.
Oh, wow.
But that carpet sucks. But I tell you what, it holds up.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So the Berber style carpet is if you think about like a bridge, right? So the Berber style thread is a loop thread.
Yeah.
So the reason it holds up is because as it sort of loops from one bottom of the fabric to the other side of the fabric, that loop is actually a lot stronger than if you just had a traditional carpet where the fiber goes up and then it's cut at the top. So that loop construction actually gives the fiber a lot more resilience over time, which to your point, here we are 25 years later.
I can see where, because the people who lived in the house before I did, it was a barn that got converted into a house. And before the guy who built it, he and his fiance, they built it to live in. Great. He died in the kitchen. Heart attack. So his sons, two of them decided they just needed to get rid of the house, and the third one wanted the girlfriend to live there, the dad's girlfriend. But the other two wanted their money. So they sold it to one of these we buy houses people that did not do well. But they had a Hispanic family that had 12 people living in this house.
Holy cow.
And they had 7 twin beds lined side by side by side. And even now, and I've lived in it for 21 years, you can still see the imprints of those 7 evenly spaced 7 twin beds.
Wow. Making the use out of the space. I mean,
but,
for sure.
But the thing is it holds up, but I can still see 21 years later those imprints. And if I've ever had something sitting on that carpet, it's still sitting on that carpet.
Absolutely. Yeah, it sounds like it's time for a change in your carpet, man. We got your back.
So how do you resist things like that when you have heavy furniture or whatever? And, in a couple of years, you might decide to move the furniture around. Is there a certain type of carpet you should consider, or a certain type of padding?
Your SOL.
Really?
Sorry, out of luck.
Oh.
I was being...
Well, I mean, anything where you're putting super heavy weight down is going to leave an imprint. Now, sometimes even in hard surface, if you talk about wood is soft. Well, some woods are softer than others, and you talk about like a grand piano can make an indention in some hard surface just the same. So you don't really ever get away from it. Just depends on how heavy the object is and what the surface is, and how long it sits there too. If you just set something down for 5 minutes, not going to really have to worry about that. But you set something down for 21 years, you're definitely going to have to worry about that.
I'm so sorry, Tim.
For
the inventions that won't go away. But I'm so
never,
happy
ever
that you're
ending.
learning so much about USA flooring today
Yes.
and the options. You mentioned earlier, Emily, that the molding that goes around the bottom, nowadays it's white.
Yeah.
And white is so hard to keep clean, and flooring can be hard to keep clean, especially if you have kids or if you have pets. So,
Or if you're lazy.
That part. So I'm just curious to
being
know,
real.
do you have certain carpets or flooring that's better for those parents that might have a kid that's riding a trike through the house, or like talk a little bit about those?
There are some, and Blake can probably speak on this. I know he's had some training on it as well, but there's several brands out there that have antibacterial layer on the top of their floors.
Ooh.
So it does prevent, almost like at hospitals, how it prevents bacteria from growing, because that's basically where you're going to get your germs. But there are lines out there that have already that protection on that first top layer. I mean, they're not going to protect you from dust from falling or, crumbs when you're, eating on the floor kind of a thing, but it will protect from the bacteria growing. Did I say that correctly?
You did.
Okay,
You did.
yeah.
And there's, as she mentioned, there are some specific flooring lines that are designed for sterile environments.
Yes.
But by and large, your decent quality hard surface luxury vinyl planks, for instance, are going to have the sort of antimicrobial buzzword tag to it. It really just means bacteria is not supposed to be able to grow on the kind of material that the surface is.
Well, that's good for folks that have allergies and deal with things
Sure.
like that.
And in hard surface, by and large, you get away from the allergy side of things. Carpet is where you deal with the indoor air sort of issues, because carpet likes to trap a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, growing up, I always had. I'm from West Virginia originally, and it was difficult because I am allergic to everything that had fur, feathers, hair, dust. Dust and mold can kill me. But I love carpet floors, and they do not love me.
No.
But I still have them, and I still would have them because I have to do that. But my mom had to do a lot of extra. Well, she always had, very clean house anyway, but I had to make sure all my stuff was out of the floor, or I lost it because she wasn't picking it up. So she would just come through, 2 or 3 times a week to vacuum. And but I just like carpet. I am not a hardwood or tile floor kind of guy, even though my downstairs is all tile, but it's 2x2. Again, 1998 is when it was put in. They found it at the thing over on Liberty Street, where the wholesale, or not wholesale, but the outlet.
Yeah, that's closed.
They just closed, and whatever they could find, they put in there, and it was they found enough of it that the whole house was covered in that.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, and you touched on a point I definitely wanted to note when you speak about trends and carpet, and everyone loves carpet in their bedrooms. One of the things that we are seeing time and time again is, back in the day, you would get, carpet in your bedrooms, you'd have linoleum or sheet vinyl in your kitchen, you'd have a ceramic maybe in your bathroom. Now people are 100% getting away with that. They're getting one product and running it throughout their whole home.
Yeah.
Because majority of these products are waterproof topically. From the top down, they're going to be water resistant, scratch resistant. People don't want to deal with the transition from product to product. So we are going in and we are putting it throughout their whole home. But then we have the Tims of the world that won't carpet, So any carpet we can get cut into a custom rug. We have an in-house fabricator at USA Flooring. So that's one thing that blew my mind when I got in this industry. I'm like, any carpet I can get into a rug? Yes.
Wow.
And so we can get it bound to whatever, preference you'd like. We can use one of those designer carpets, get it cut into a rug. So we can put hard surface throughout, but if you still want to get out of the bed in the morning and put your feet on carpet, we can get a rug for you made just for around your room. So
that's great.
Yeah, and to that point, I say this all the time to customers. The easiest way to protect your hard surface investment is to cover some of it with some area rugs in your high traffic areas. So you're going to be putting your feet on the floor by your bed every week, every day, day over day, week over week. Throw an area rug down. Satisfies you. That's what I did. I just redid the floors in my house, hard surface everywhere, with rugs wherever I want my feet to be.
Well, but even beyond that, I just don't like walking on my parents' house, hardwood everywhere, and my mom puts down rugs everywhere, and I'll find myself jumping to rug because I don't like walking on hardwood floors.
Sure.
I'm hopscotching all the way down to the bathroom. 1 foot, 2 foot, and it's like I should be
That's
throwing a
funny.
stone to see what kind of dance I'm going to be doing.
Oh my gosh.
But I just do not like walking on hard surfaces. I like
Well, and there's no problem with that, and for somebody who's got the indoor air or the allergies and, the allergies to dust, mold, et cetera, like you just mentioned for yourself, but who loves carpet, they make a hypoallergenic carpet. They make hypoallergenic carpet and hypoallergenic pad. So it's certainly, you can get your cake and eat it too,
Sweet.
Cake.
Is it 12 o'clock yet?
You don't have to be 12 to have cake.
That's true.
I have another question.
Sure.
We're talking about flooring, and my mind is going to indoor, but what about outdoor? Do you supply outdoor?
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I have to ask specifically, do you do anything with garage flooring?
Yes.
Talk about
and
it.
there is some new product lines actually that Mohawk has came out with that I've sold quite a bit of recently. They even have some where you could install it yourself, some peel and stick carpet for your garage. Yes, they've got some great, even that will let water go through. Actually, I had a client not too long ago that he purchased some red, because he is a car collector, and put it down in his garage, and literally installed it himself on a Saturday, and it took him just maybe an hour or so.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just transformed the look of his garage. So we definitely have that option. And even if you have a screened in patio area, or even if it's not, there are some carpets that we can get that let water breathe through. Even there's some outdoor rugs that we have that you can get a pad that will help, so it won't slip, but also let the rain and the elements go through.
And there are some flooring applications that we don't do in garages currently. We're actually actively working on potentially expanding those offerings. There's forgive me here, there's like an epoxy sort of material that you can put over your garage floor, and it makes it like a nice clear sort of sheen, if you will, across it, and protects it and kind of seals it in. We don't currently do that, but are actively working with our install partners to see if that's something they'd be interested in expanding our services to.
Nice.
Do people still do like terrazzo floors and stuff like that?
Terrazzo floor, yeah. So yes is the answer. I'm not an expert on what terrazzo floors are, but I have heard it, so I know that people still do it.
Okay, yeah.
Is that something you're interested in?
Oh, no.
Is it tile? Do you know off the top of your head? Is terrazzo tile? What is it?
It's like concrete and epoxy and stuff, and it's got like stones and stuff in it, and then it's smoothed out and then coated. So a lot of older businesses used it, schools used it. So take a school built in anywhere from the 70s to the even 2000s, early 2000s, those floors, that's probably terrazzo.
Terrazzo, okay. Emily, have you heard of terrazzo before? Flooring?
I have.
Right. I heard of it too, but I was ignorant to what it actually meant. So he just kind of
I love it.
gave me a little run. Do you know what it is off the top of your head? No. So we are Google masters if we don't know something.
Yeah.
And then
Google's our friend.
the other thing I'd say is
Fake it till you make it.
Well, and
That's
we've got people who've been in the company for 35 plus years, who've been in the industry for 50 plus years. So what Emily and I are experts in is knowing our limitations. So you asked me about terrazzo. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you I don't know. But then if you want me to know, I'll figure it out, and then I'll come back to you with some answers.
Well, you guys have had a lot of answers for us today, which is awesome. But I'm just curious to know really quickly, how did you guys get into flooring? Like, what's your background, Blake? What's your background, Emily?
Funny story. So in my professional life prior to flooring, I was a corporate manager at Enterprise, like the car rental company.
Yeah.
Did that for 11 years, and then COVID happened. So a lot of people got caught up in layoffs. I was one of them. The travel industry obviously took a huge hit. And it just so happens that the owner of the company was searching for a branch manager for their Wilmington location at the time, and that's where I lived, Wilmington, North Carolina. And he reached out to who is now our general manager, who also worked for Enterprise and for quite a period of time as well, and said, "Hey, do you know anybody in the Wilmington area who got caught up in the layoffs who's worth their salt, that'd be interested in a position?" So then, sort of the rest is history. I got promoted to the branch manager in Raleigh, and then now the district manager for the company. But before that was theater in college. Yeah, I wanted to go be an actor for the longest time. I got a full ride to go to ECU, didn't take it. went to school at UNCW, so that's University of North Carolina at Wilmington, to be a pastor. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then from there got into enterprise car rental. So
That's amazing.
quite the adventure. What about you, Miss Emily?
Yeah, Emily, what about you?
Well, my story is a lot like Blake's. I was in the hotel business for almost 15 years, and thanks to COVID, I was one of the lucky ones that stayed, but then realized that just travel industry was not the same. And so, our general manager, Fred Black, reached out and said, hey, know of anybody, or would you be interested in getting the flooring business? And I was like, well, I've walked on lots of floors, might as well.
I've experience in walking.
So he brought me on board. I started working in the Durham location to learn all things flooring. And then I was mobile for a while. We have a mobile showroom that is stocked full of samples that will actually come out to your home and do a in-home estimate. So prior to the store being open, I was commuting back and forth to Durham, also then building our base here in Winston-Salem. And
awesome.
in hotel business, the main focus is customer service. And that's really what we're doing here is we're, working with customers, understanding their needs and providing them a service. And one thing I like so much about this is with Hotel World, I was providing them a service. It was not a tangible product, where now I can actually show a tangible product they can touch, feel, walk on, and really transform someone's life. Because we're going into someone's home that they're like, I need a change in my kitchen, but I don't know what I need to do. And now we're transforming it. Then when they come in to get their morning coffee, they're like, I'm loving it, So that's what brought me here. And honestly, I always thought I would stay in the hotel business. And now I'm in the flooring world, and I haven't looked back since.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, guys.
You can use Emily's portions exclusively.
No, we'll use all of it.
Oh my gosh. Well, you guys, is there anything that we didn't touch on today that you want to share with everyone listening?
Flooring is generally the third biggest expense for households. It was a fact that kind of shocked me. Yeah, so after a vehicle, after a house, flooring is generally your next largest expense. It's something that I didn't realize, and I don't think most of our consumers, when they start down the journey of wanting to replace their floors, I don't think they realize that as well.
Wow. That's interesting.
And what were you going to say that you clammed up about? I want to make sure we got all the
As
information.
quick as it came, as quick as it left.
All the things.
Just really all of the things, when it comes to flooring, that's the thing too. I'll go in people's homes that I think, how in the world are they gonna, but also it's the time people do put this project off. Or like you mentioned, you've had that carpet down for 21 years. When I got in this business, I redid my parents' home, and there was a room in their house they hadn't replaced in, almost 40 years, because it's that, that special living room that you only go in for like Christmas and
Yes.
Thanksgiving maybe. They'd never had their carpet redone. So I came in, we redid it. You're cleaning out closets you hadn't cleaned out in years. So it's a project that people put off. But, we come in, we'll talk through. We have a laid out plan of what all you need to do. And it's really being transparent with the customer of what's about to happen, and holding their hand through the process to make this big purchase, but it is something that people don't realize. They think there's the price of the product, and there's so much more involved to it. But that's what we're there to really, we're not the fly-by-nights, as I call them. We really come in and project manage from the beginning to the end of a product or an installation, so
I love that.
that's one of the things just to note about the flooring biz.
You guys have been so much fun.
Thank you. We had a great
Thanks.
time.
We did have a great time. Thanks
Thank
for
you
having us.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here. And for everyone that wants to get in touch with you guys, please share your website and where you guys are located in Winston.
So our website is www.usaflooringnc.com, and we're located at 588 Haynes Mall Boulevard. So we're in the Pavilion Shopping Center.
Perfect. And if anyone wants to reach out to you, Emily?
Yeah, my cell phone, it's 336-575-6886.
Now, there aren't too many people that will actually share their cell phone number on this show, so thank you for doing that.
It's actually
Emily.
Blake's. I'm just kidding.
There you go. Wonderful.
It's me. I'll answer.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Yes.
Thank you for the invite.
Of
Yes.
course. And for everyone listening, until next time. We know you enjoyed this podcast today, so join us for the next episode of Greater Conversations. By the way, you can follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Be sure to smash that subscribe button. Also, be sure to visit our website at winstonsalem.com. The views and opinions stated in this podcast are solely those of the contributors and not necessarily those of our sponsors, distributors, or hosting companies. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced without expressed written consent of Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. or your toast.